The fishing news is brought to you by Shoreline Insurance Agency.
Win the incredible Steigercraft, Evinrude, Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package and more in the Fisherman's 2018 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details at thefisherman.com.
Hey folks, Tim C. Smith here with this week's video fishing forecast. Sunday's opening of the striped bass season in the Marine District is providing some welcome signs of what's ahead. On the South Shore, boats running over to the Raritan Bay are finding good numbers of stripers ranging from schoolies to 30 pounds. They're being taken on soft plastics and topwater plugs. While trollers are scoring mostly with mojo rigs, and live, our chunked bunker and clams are also catching their fare of fish. Captain Nick on the No Time out of Bay Park in Oceanside did some catch and release fishing on Saturday prior to Sunday's big blowout. He and his crew scored 10 bass, with half of them being keepers. On the North Shore, Little Neck Bay in the Western Sound has produced good striper action for anglers working the bay's shoreline, especially after dark. Matt and his buddies from J&J Tackle and Patchogue have been catching a good number of mostly 20 to 25 inch bass with the occasional fish to 30 inches. The best action has been at night on swimming plugs like SP minnows, mag darters, and redfins. Ziggy Sokoloski sent along a few photos of some better fish he's culled from among the many smaller bass. He's also been working the night tides and averaging 20 to 30 fish on every outing. The bigger fish have been taken on swimming plugs. Colder water temps continue to plague the efforts of those looking for flounder or blackfish. There have been a handful of flounder from places like City Island and Cold Spring Harbor on the North Shore and some of the South Shore bays like Jamaica and the Great South Bay, but it's been a very tough pick. Blackfish have been even scarcer than flounder outside of a few picked from ocean wrecks. Things look better for the Raritan Bay. Joe Leggio sent this photo of his friend Lloyd with a nice flatty. Let's check in with Captain Al Lorenzetti and see if he has any news from Fire Island.
Hey Tim, looks like there's some signs of life finally around Fire Island. Scott Leonard, the Top Gun fishing charter's out with his young son Jordan. Jordan had 2 flounders, Dad had none. A couple of schoolie striped bass up in the State Channel, and if you're going to go out to Fire Island Inlet, it's nothing like it was last year.
We had our first sighting of a sea robin yesterday, courtesy of Captain Ed Walsh from Jones Beach Fishing Station, who sent along this photo of an osprey with a newly arrived sea robin. Once the bird show, fluke are usually not far behind, a good sign of this year's early opening date of May 4th. Fisherman senior editor Fred Golofaro added that he is willing to stick his neck out and say that we will have bluefish in the area despite the cold water temperatures by the end of next week. Can't wait to see how that plays out, Fred. Speaking of Fred, he managed to attend Governor Cuomo's press conference on Tuesday, which revealed a major effort to bolster the state's fishing reef sites. Let's go to Fred now for more details.
Thank you, Tim. And yes, the message from the governor was welcome news to a standing room only crowd of anglers, boat captains, environmentalists, and quite a few legislators as well. 6 of Long Island's 12 reef sites will be beneficiaries of 40,000 cubic yards of rubble from the Tappan Zee Bridge. If you've driven upstate in the past 2 years, you've seen the construction going on, and in fact, in the past 6 months, maybe even close to 2 years, you've driven across one of the new spans. If you're wondering where all that rubble is going or went, it's going to be deposited on the bottom of the ocean and Long Island Sound, and it's all part of this new reef initiative. In addition to the Tappan Zee rubble, there's also going to be 30 vessels of various sizes, as well as 30 barges of other material, including pipes, steel pipes, and a lot of rock also. In addition to infusing new life into the marine environment, the project also adds a new dimension to recycling, and will also cut down on landfill waste. All the required permits are already in order, and work's expected to begin in May. It's going to continue through the summer into August. So if you're out on the ocean or on the Sound, the Smithtown Bay area, you will likely see some of the activity taking place. The DEC's reef program's been dormant, more like stagnant, for more than a decade. So this will infuse much needed new life into the sites. Shinnecock, Moriches, Fire Island, Smithtown, Hempstead, and Rockaway Reefs, all going to be the beneficiaries for this year. They're all on the calendar to be completed this year. Now, the governor closed the conference by saying, and I'm gonna quote him on this:
We did not inherit the earth from our parents. we are borrowing it from our children. And that says it all. Once you think of, this is something I'm leaving for my children, then every cell in your body says, I have to leave it better than we found it. And we are stewards for a brief period of time on this earth. And then we hand it off to the next generation. And our responsibility is to hand it off better.
And you can view the governor's press conference and get more details by clicking on the card above. Remember, like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dream Boat Contest. Until next week, this is Tim C. Smith for thefisherman.com. The Fishing News is brought to you by Shoreline Insurance Agency.